What is going on, 59 Mobile? It is Gale right here, back again with another Dokkan battle video, and today we're going to be talking all about anniversaries. With Global approaching its 7th anniversary, we're going to be ranking all the anniversaries from worst to best in a list, basically. And today with me to do this ranking, I have Vilify. Say hello, mate.
Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, Mr. Gale Riot?
It's going well. It is going well. I'm very excited to get into this because there's going to be a lot of hot topics about this. There's going to be some heated discussion in the comment section. I guarantee it. A lot of people will be giving their opinions, and we'd love to see it. We're going to interact with you guys in the comment section. So feel free to leave your opinions on how badly we got this and how wrong we are. We'll take it all. We will take it all on our chin, and we'll respond to you guys on why we think the anniversaries are where they are at. Now, one thing to note is that we are going to be including the 7th anniversary because JP has already experienced it. Vilify has already gone through it as well, so he knows a lot about the 7th anniversary, and we've seen it. We've seen it on a lot of videos, and we know what's coming. So we're gonna include it on this list, but let's start off with the worst anniversary to date. Vilify, you want to start us off?
Yeah, do I need to be the bearer of bad news? Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah, you can start us off with the worst.
All right, so
at our number 7 spot, we are going to have to put a
bit of a blemish on your nostalgia and say it is the first year anniversary. Now, I know it was the first anniversary. Gogeta was the greatest unit of all time, arguably the most meta-shifting unit we've ever seen, but that does not take away from the fact that looking over the details for this campaign and just comparing it to what we have seen now is just nowhere near up to the standards. The total amount of stones was under 200. There just wasn't that many events to do. Granted, the game was different, but just like I said, looking at everything else and all these other anniversaries that we're going to talk about, it just does not have enough doesn't have enough substance for us to warrant it being anything more than the worst anniversary that we've seen so far, and that just goes to show how much better Dokkan has got at doing their anniversaries as the years have went on.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, and I still remember as well around the first anniversary, that first year of Dokkan, I remember Global having some massive issues with the raids and stuff, if I recall correctly. Obviously people can expand upon it in the comment section down below, because Vilify and I both didn't play in the first anniversary. I joined a little bit later. I joined a couple of months later. So I never really experienced the struggles and troubles that players went in that first anniversary or previous to that, or prior to that, I should say. So I can't really tell that much, and neither of us can tell. But just by seeing what content there was, hearing about the issues, the murmurs, I think it deserves its worst spot. That being said, it did obviously, like Vilify said, it provided us with a huge meta-defining unit, which has obviously not been replicated to that degree in recent years, I would say, right?
Yeah, I'd definitely say that's how it looks on paper.
All right, let's move on to our next. Oh, do you want to add anything on top of that?
No, I think I got everything we wanted to talk about was there, but you mentioning, now that I think about it, you mentioning the lowering the rates on the global side, I also think that adds a little bit of a sour reputation to it. And I'm just scrolling through the celebration right now, and you just don't see anything that's like, oh my god, look at this, right? Like a Facebook like and share campaign, a special event, the Adventure of Gratitude, the old daily missions with Hercule, and event, should I say, the Hercule mission, the Roshi mission. Yeah, just nothing really too crazy here. Like if we went into like the 8th anniversary and they advertised time limited strike events with double drop rate, I think we'd all be losing our minds. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, I think we can move on to the next one. I think we're delaying the inevitable here. This one I think is probably gonna cause a lot of chaos in the community and probably get a lot of hate towards us, I would say. The worst, or the second worst anniversary, is probably the 5th year anniversary. Now, I know you guys will get all your pitchforks, you Gogeta Blue fans, you Vegeta Blue fans. Let's be real, the 5th anniversary was carried majorly by that effective duo. Like, there was nothing else realistically that interested people, quite honestly speaking. The free-to-play units that were distributed to players, not interesting at all. The only thing that I would say was a gleaming thing in this celebration was the first time we managed to get the 55 special summon ticket thing, where we got a guaranteed LR, right? Outside of that, you know, skill orbs, to this day, we don't think they're fantastic. Skill orbs need a massive rehaul or update basically to it for it to be better. At the time, of course, it was pretty decent, but it wasn't anything crazy. And overall, it isn't a great anniversary if you think about it. If you look at it from, just a superficial level as well. I don't remember doing anything beyond summoning for Gogeta Blue and Vegeta Blue and then calling it a day. Like, in all honesty, I feel like in all the other anniversaries, we've had something to do, something to look forward to. Whereas in the 5th anniversary, it felt like, okay, you've done those 2 things. You'll farm the free-to-play units and then, wait till you can summon for the LR, right? I don't know. How about you, Vilify? What do you think about the 5th anniversary? Did you? I think you came around this time, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is about So like that was when I really got heavy into the Japanese side. I had played Global a little bit prior, specifically around when the Broly movie had come out. But yeah, just like looking at this, what separates this one? Like you said, I was hoping you were going to mention that there was a guaranteed LR, so that does matter. Like that's obviously very important towards. Just like what the anniversary gives us. And another thing to note is that they had a third part, right? But the whole marketing to the third part is just that, like, whoa, we're gonna do an EZA for an LR, and that was the first of its kind. But it was just a free-to-play LR, and it didn't even turn out to be that good. Upcoming on this list, we will talk about how they kind of improved on that going forward. But that's a separate discussion for later on in the video. I just don't see anything here, like you said, that's like, oh my god, look at this. Like, I know Gogeta Blue and Vegito Blue, like, how could we possibly put them so low on the list? But it's just like when you look, even the Part 2 LRs, like Rose Goku Black was really cool, but Broly, Chi-Lai, and Lemo just really never had a moment of being usable. There was an EZA area for free-to-play units like Raditz and Vegeta, and then, Broly and, what was his name? Ba. I think it was just Broly, but Ba. Yeah. And Ba was part of it. Global had their fun little special friend summons, and I played the Japanese version, so I never did get to see those the fun friend summons. Like 5 million friend points, just chilling, nothing to do with those, by the way. So it's like this anniversary. It's like I'm not gonna sit here and just objectively say it was bad, but like you said, it 100% carries. The banners were just like so cool, and Gogeta and Vegeta Blue were just such hype characters that it kind of saved it out. Like they'll say, oh, they got top grossing, but like that's Gogeta Blue and Vegeta Blue are in case of emergency break glass, and it's basically a guaranteed top grossing. So it's just one of those things like where they kind of took the easy way out with this anniversary, tried to rely on the hype of the characters, and just kind of went from there. So I think the second to last spot is good, but at least we did get a lot of stones with it.
For sure, yeah. I think the 5th anniversary was a little bit lacking for sure. It had a good foundation, but it could have been a lot better for sure. Let's move on to our next anniversary. Vilify, you want to talk about this one?
So coming in at our next spot, we have the 2nd anniversary, if that's how we wrote it out, right?
Yes, that is how we wrote it out. Yes, it is the 2nd anniversary.
Yeah. Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, we had just for the record, we had a massive debate about the next like 4 spots basically. This versus another anniversary, which we'll come on to in a bit, and then the 2nd and 3rd spots were extremely hard to judge as well. So it was a little chaotic when we were preparing this video. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so I know like we're going to talk like, so it's be like, how can you put the 2nd anniversary above the 5th anniversary? And I think what kind of brings us together here, right, is that we had just so many different things and a lot of new mechanics that the game kind of brought forth for us. We had two, rather than Gogeta and Janemba, you could argue that Super Saiyan 4s are even more exciting.
Ooh,
it's tough.
That is a bit of a hot take. So I mean, I wouldn't mind it necessarily, but that is a bit of a hot take.
it is kind of close, right? Like I'm not saying it's definitive or anything like that, but
they sell well. We've seen it. They sell well, right?
The Super Saiyan 4s sell well, right? Yeah, and I think another big thing that we have here is that there was the legendary election that was new. You kind of threw this one on to me, and you said you were the one that played during this, so maybe you could give a little bit better perspective than I can.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I wanted to see what you would do with it, though. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah.
I'm reading through it. I'm like, I don't. What is my argument? Just looking at this.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But in my opinion, I feel like the 2nd anniversary was a little bit better because you just had a lot of stuff happening at the same time. I remember leading into the anniversary, we started getting news of them, disabling Super Strike for the Prime battles. And I remember grinding out a lot of free-to-play units just to prepare for that Prime battle, because I had never done the Prime battle before that. I feel like a lot of players only just got Prime battle Goku done for the first time once they removed that whole restriction, right? And then, like you said, the legendary election, I think this has been never done again since then, right? The only time we've got a chance to vote on something since then was on Global, when we had Vegito Blue versus Rose, choose which easier you wanted first, right? Outside of that, we've rarely had the opportunity to select like the next LR or next Dokkan Fest. I think we had one more opportunity. I think it was like, I remember it was like Head, Kefla, and something, one more other unit. I think it was Kaba, if I'm not mistaken, right? But we've only had like 1 or 2 more opportunities, and we've never had it again where it's like a whole-on legendary election where you have like 9 units and everything. Like today, for example, or earlier on at the time of this recording, we got the announcement of LR Golden Frieza, which checks off another one that was on the election list, right? So it just led to something that was really, really cool. And of course, the legendary election results and the actual unit only came in like months later, but it was still really cool to get it at the time of asking. And then on top of that, on the global side, we also had the first time a very weird banner with Intel or Gohan, where you could actually, when you summoned for SJ for Goku and Vegeta, you'd get tickets to put into that Intel or Gohan banner. Obviously only Wales really got that Intel or Gohan because the rates were so wonky for that. But generally, we also got a couple of free-to-play units, World Tournament and stuff like that. It generally just felt really nice and really well designed at the time for second anniversary, and a huge upgrade from the first, in my opinion, as well. So for me, I think the second anniversary as well just holds that spot. And for its time, I think it did a great job because it brought in players, it kept them interested the entire anniversary, the duration of that anniversary. Whereas if you look at the 5th anniversary, and I think that's one thing we should note as well, and say this as well, we're going to look at these anniversaries and see how well they hold you in and keep you playing the game. Because that's the most important thing when it comes to an anniversary, right, Vilify?
Yeah, I had something that I was thinking, right, like as we were doing this, like what is the argument for the 2nd over the 5th, just content-wise? And one thing is, like, if we look at the grander scheme of things, right, when you talk about the 5th anniversary to the 4th anniversary, you know, you can't say directly that it is just a straight-up upgrade and a better celebration, but with the 2nd and the 1st, I think you can 100% say that, and that is something, and leaving it with something unique like this legendary election, like that immediately ties to the 2nd anniversary, so... I think it's something cool. Like, if you do think the 5th anniversary is better than the 2nd, I mean, I wouldn't say like, oh my god, that's such a hot take or anything like that. But I do think that, you know, you giving your argument kind of sold me a little bit, and I think that it's definitely debatable. Yeah. But I like the argument you gave, so that's why I was okay with telling you, like, yeah, we could say this.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, let's move on to our next one. Then this is our number 4 spot, basically, or I should say, yeah, it'll be number 4, I think, either way. But at number 4, we have the 3rd anniversary coming in. Our first appearance of the Dokkan Fest LRs. And, you know, this is a great anniversary to me. I think this is really, really good. It was a little bit of a debate with the 2nd anniversary because I personally held 2nd to a higher prestige, but I think that was nostalgia blinding me, kind of, right? But the 3rd anniversary brought in Purunga for the first time. We had the Guinea Force free-to-play team given out, which obviously in today's day and age is the best team arguably in Dokkan, and can be made an argument. I wouldn't say it's the best team, but there is an argument for it. A lot of people will make that argument, right? Yeah. And it was just an overall decent anniversary. I think you had a decent chunk of stuff to do. It was a very weird anniversary as well, because the way they designed it was like, okay, you have the Dokkan Fest, Gogeta and Vegito, but then the rest of the celebration is Namek focused, and it was so weird. Yeah. Just looking at it, because like you said, you weren't playing during this era, basically. What do you think from just what you've seen? How do you feel about the 3rd anniversary, Vilify?
So yeah, what you mentioned, something, you know, these the Vegito and the Gogeta, this was the first set of Dokkan Fest LRs, so that is also something that is special and kind of set the way going forward. So this was kind of the blueprint for an anniversary going from here on out. 2 LRs in part 1. There was a part 2 to this one. This was also the first anniversary with a part 2. You know, returning all of these different, the typing, like the OG 5 summonable LRs, right? With Goku Black, Trunks, Gohan, Broly, and Vegeta. That's great. Yeah, but it is weird that, like that you said, they go back to Namek.
Yep.
So, you know, the theme is weird. I'm glad that they've kind of gotten away from that and kept it kind of continuous. Like the 4-year was GT, 5 was Blue Fusions and their opponents, 6 Tournament of Power, 7 GT, Super, you know, all, et cetera, et cetera. Yep. Yeah, so it's like, the same thing where I kind of read this and I'm like, okay, I'd probably prefer the 5th if we just look at events, but it also is noted. You got to note that these things, Purunga, that's huge. Like, Purunga is still something that you see to this day. It's very exciting.
Yep.
A lot of still the same suspects, right? The prices in trades, 30% off, the ranking. But something else new that they did that was very good for people that wanted to play and grind the game, almost wish that link levels were around at that time, was that the stamina restoring time went down from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. So, they were able to kind of implement something that's even a new mechanic that lets you play the game even more if you were, you got down like that. And it's something that they've continued to do throughout the time. So, good stuff. Again, this was probably the introduction of the special friend summons on the global side, JP Shaft. And the 3rd anniversary also did it bring up the redstone, or was that the 2nd?
That was the 2nd. The 2nd one was the first time we got the redstone.
Here it is. The purple stone. I think this one was new.
Yes, the purple stone was new, yes.
Yeah, so you're able to recruit a character with premium dragonstone. It says right here that the Super Saiyan 4s as well as the other anniversary units were available here. I don't know if that's 100% true.
No. It's the old Super Saiyan 4s they're showing there. It was the AGL, Vegeta, and STR, SJ for Goku. So it was last.
Yeah, but that was the anniversary before.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So you could.
That's what I was saying.
It was the entire 120 leads. It was all the 120 leads available.
I see it now because it's Int Gogeta and STR
Yep.
Janemba. Okay, I got it now. Yeah, I see now. I'm just looking at the advertisement, so it's yeah, a lot of good stuff here, though. I think this anniversary, bringing out so many different new mechanics and having all this fun stuff is great. Again, another argument. Maybe your nostalgia gave me a better argument, and I'm just kind of hearing it off recency bias. But it is this all. Yeah. So the 2nd anniversary, I think, gave out more stones. If I'm looking at this right on global.
I think it might have actually done just.
So that's not good, but you'll see very soon here when we start talking about it. That made a dramatic flip. We already did talk about it. The 5th gave out 930 stones. So
yeah, the 5th one was pretty decent. I think the 5th one was actually like 879. But the next anniversary we're going to be talking about, which is the 4th anniversary, was probably one of the best anniversaries we've ever gotten, and arguably until the 7th anniversary was toe-to-toe with the next one on our list as well, which you guys are probably already guessed which one it is. But this one and the one that's coming up, the 6th anniversary, we had a massive debate about it. I think we were trying to figure out which one to go for. We asked people in like the 5-9 public Discord. We asked people in our own personal Discords and personal friend groups. We asked the people in our Dokkan Battle team as well, which one was better, 4th or 6th, and it was mixed. It was so mixed, and we still didn't figure out which one we wanted to go for until we decided, you know what, in 3rd spot we'll put the 4th anniversary, and we love the 4th anniversary. I personally love it a lot. I mean, Vilify didn't play it, so he can't really say much, but I played it and I loved it. I think this was a great anniversary because you had the release of the active skills. This was a new mechanic to the game, which was a lot of fun, and to this day is a really, really, really good mechanic that's being used everywhere basically, because this allows you to use transformations on your own time. This allows you to, obviously the conditions aren't great looking at you, AGLLR Gohan, but at times I should say, but for the most part you can transform whenever you want. You can use your attack active skills whenever you want, and so on and so forth. It just gives you a lot more freedom in that regards, right? But not only did we get that, we got a bunch of free-to-play units. We got Giru, we got the LR LR B Pan for the first time, the EZA for Goku Jr., EZA for Vegeta Jr., and well, we saw Vegeta Jr. release as well. Then we got obviously LRSJ for Goku and Vegeta, which were at the time one of the best units in the game, I think. Well, Gobros was debatable at the time as well, right? But you had those guys, and then obviously in the second part we got the start of something really, really cool, and that was the Omega Shenron raid. And I think this was an event that people absolutely adored and wanted to see more and more of, and we got to see it more and more in future events. Like for example, the following download celebration, the Cell Saga one, we got a Cell raid as well. In the 7th anniversary, we got another raid basically as well, which we'll talk about once we get to it. But it set up the stones to something really, really cool. We also got the first time we got the top legendary summon banner, the special edition battlefield as well. Overall, this was a great anniversary, and like I said, the stone count was ridiculous. This was the first time we got over 900 stones in an anniversary. that is that is basically nearly what is that, 20 multis basically in one anniversary. At the time it was unheard of. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's like 18 multis and change, depending on if you'd like.
Yeah.
I don't think there was discounts at this time, right? I don't.
No, I think there was. That you couldn't.
Yeah.
Well, there were no
Okay.
discounts. I think. Well, actually, there might have been. But I do know this was when we also got tickets to the game as well, like the being able to spend them for tickets and stuff on global at least. So we were still winning at the time.
Yeah, So one thing I kind of am seeing right off the bat, you were talked about how the raid was good and stuff like that, but I remember when I was playing, this is when I basically picked up Dokkan and had like my first real playthrough on it. I was over on global, and JP, like, we were getting notifications like, help the Japanese side out with fighting Omega Shenron and stuff like that. And I thought that was kind of really cool how like they kind of broke the fourth wall and talked about the other version and stuff like that.
Yep.
And that I think that is cool. And let's just kind of, like I said, I'm looking through the wiki as each we go. We got the an event that gives special 4th anniversary tickets, who will be Hercule's successor. We have Giru, the Panda Adventure, obviously still a thing, and then this is when she became an LR. New boss rush, obviously, that's always great. The Dual Dokkan Fest, we know, two of the more hype units, and they later got addressed as well in the 7th anniversary. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Not you, but the people watching. Yeah, this anniversary, I didn't have as much head-on perspective with. I played a little bit on the global side when it did come out, but I'd kind of been out of Dokkan at that point. But it's, cool stuff. It was, I mean, you said it yourself, right? Like, we had no idea if we wanted to put this one below or above the 6th anniversary, and we were considering even putting them in the same spot. But I think they're just so different in theme and stuff like that it was almost impossible to put them in tie. So I was like, we got to pick one over the other.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And then, of course, we'll talk about the next position, I think, and that is, of course, the 6th anniversary. The stone count was exactly the same as well. So for those wondering if we're doing this by stone count, no. I mean, the 5th anniversary is dead last, pretty much. Let's be real. It doesn't matter on the stone count. What we're looking at is the content, and 6th anniversary had it in galore. We had the rainbow tickets. We had the 66 summon tickets, right? We had a bunch of free-to-play units that were all very, very, well, nearly all of them were very, very good. I would say probably Krillin and 18 is a little bit debatable, but you had Roshi, Tien and Master Roshi. These were really good options, right? And then you had unbelievably hard content at the time with the God event, right? I remember people struggling. I myself struggled as well when it first dropped on global. It was ridiculous. It was actually really, really challenging. And then you obviously had the first time we got a category EZA, right, with UI Goku. The first time we got a summonable LR EZA as well. It was just generally, there was so much to do in this anniversary that we could not put it above the 4th anniversary just a little bit. So of course, we have to also acknowledge the fact that the 6th anniversary did release after the 4th anniversary. A little Captain Obvious there, but we have to mention that it should be better anyways, kind of thing, right? It had to be better. Otherwise, the 4th anniversary would still be second, even after the 5th anniversary and stuff. But they knocked it out of the park with the 6th anniversary. You can tell us a little bit more because you actually played this one, unlike the last 3 anniversaries we talked about.
Yeah, so we've already talked about it, like mentioning that this was coming off the heels of what we thought to be one of the less delivering ECAs, less delivering anniversaries with the 5th year anniversary, right? So the bar was a little bit low, and they had to kind of come back and redeem themselves. And I think with the 6th year anniversary, they did that. And mentioning your free to play units, Master Roshi is still usable in today's day and age, right? Like, sure, he's not going to tank in the red zone or anything like that, but for the no item run in the Universe 7 ESBR stage, you bet you're behind I used him, right? Like, his revival is great. He still probably has like one of the best revival conditions in the game, right? Just under a certain amount of HP, you get it. If you don't have to take a certain amount of hits that you'll die when you take them anyway with UI Goku and Vegeta. Yeah, so this anniversary was great. Not the best ever, but I was a huge fan of this one, and being able to play it did kind of skew my view. Big fan of this. UI Goku is still one of my favorite units in the game. I defend him at every chance I have, so leaves a positive reputation to me. I like it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, as the best anniversary in the game pretty much ever, it had to be the 7th anniversary. I mean, they absolutely knocked it out of the park. You want to take this one, Vilify? Because you played this one. I haven't.
Yeah, so the dual Dokkan Fest, as you guys probably should know, the God Duo and the Super Saiyan 4 Duo. I'm personally prefer the Super Saiyan 4 Duo, but if you argued for the God side, I wouldn't be like, you're dumb or anything like that. This introduced the hardest event in the game's history that we've seen so far, being the Ultimate Red Zone. That is content that will last most players more than just the anniversary. Like if you are, spending money and summoning, and you have the new units with duplications, I said duplications, with dupes and stuff like that, you will be able to kind of knock it out. But if you don't, the Cell team or something like that, you can take out all the stages. And one big thing that this anniversary did, it gave us a unique part, and that was, it's part 4, but they called it part EX. So in addition to like the 1100 stones that we got over on the JP side, they were like, here's another near 400 with content. Now, you have to note that it was put behind a 999 stage event to get 277 stones, but it is important to note, right? Like this all-star raid, this is content. If you want to talk about content that's going to last you a long time and you can play the game and get it done, what more do you want, right? And it's like, it's kind of immersive in the fact that you're going through the perspective of Dragon Ball. Like, I didn't just use my LR Super Saiyan 4 team and just cook through it. Like, I took my time, did the Dragon Ball Saga, did the World Tournament, did all the teams that come along with it, just to kind of really get into the environment that they wanted us to play it in.
Yeah.
A lot of stones, 4 LR EZAs, and on top of that, also 4 not banner unit EZAs, but 2 category leader EZAs, and then 2 banner unit EZAs. Tech God Goku is one of the best EZAs in the game. Omega and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta are still very, very good. I'd say Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is still a top 10 EZA even halfway through 2022. Better than the Int one, some would argue, but it is close. Yeah, it's just, there's so much good to the celebration that I can't talk about it all in this video just because we'll be here for 45 minutes.
For sure. I think, looking in from the outside, this was a phenomenal anniversary, I think. You had so much to go for it. You had 2 great summonable units there in terms of the main, headliners. You had the Dokkan Fest LRs for the first time EZAing as well, which I think we need. I want to put a little bit more focus on. That was amazing the way they handled it. Well, I say amazing the way they handled it. Gogeta and Vegeta could have been a little bit better, but Vegeta and Goku are phenomenal, right, in terms of their design. Probably going to last a pretty decent time in terms of strength. And just generally, the way they handled each part, it didn't feel like they skipped a beat at any time. They were on beat consistently. You were following the anniversary really well. I saw the content coming in and out regularly. And that's another thing that they need, that was an issue on certain celebrations Dokkan has had in the past. Like, for example, the worldwide download celebration a year or 2 ago with the Super Vegeta and Buhan. The content was so badly spread out back then. They've definitely learned from it since then with the 6th anniversary and the 7th anniversary, where, the content is better managed. The content is, drip fed very well. And it's just good. It's just really, really good. The way they've handled the countdown as well. The missions of masters that we're doing on global right now, going into the anniversary, really good. Just overall, it has been a good experience in terms of, being an outsider looking in and getting ready to be hyped for it when it comes out on global in, 2 weeks time, basically. So, yeah.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, so for me, I think it is absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited for it on global, for sure. And there you have it. There's our top 7 anniversaries, I suppose. I mean, there are only 7 anniversaries, but there's our 7 anniversaries ranked in the list for... Just to reiterate what we've listed out, the worst one is the 1st anniversary, then 5th, then the 2nd, then the 3rd. And 3rd spot, it's the 4th anniversary, and 2nd, it's the 6th, and at 1st place, we have the 7th anniversary. Vilify, any final comments you want to add before we wrap up?
Don't, if you want to argue with somebody in the comments about this, remember to be respectful about it. These are just everybody's opinions. It is very tough to rank. These were all very good celebrations in terms of Dokkan, in terms of comparing them to other Dokkan celebrations. So we're all here to appreciate it, and let's keep it respectful, right?
Yeah, a bit debatable on the 5th anniversary, but we will allow it. We'll allow it. But yeah, you guys can put in the comment sections. Remember, be respectful, like Vilify said. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.